Good morning, everyone. True Zero Emissions here. So to think more about Cameron asking me this question, what if we charged a battery directly from the wall? Like just literally plugging the wall bat power into a battery. So to answer your question, Cameron, because Cameron had asked me this maybe a month ago or so. Actually, I don't remember exactly when he asked it. Sometime in the past year, but it may have been around a month ago as well. And he may have asked me a couple times. We need to convert that AC into DC, even though Gerard Morin believed that we can charge batteries with AC. Now, what kind of AC was he talking about, right? You'd have to watch all his videos to see what he was talking about, because I actually don't understand it completely. He might have been talking about something like this little thing down here. See that? On the top is a blender motor, and on the bottom here, this one on the bottom, is a dishwasher water pump motor. But for some reason, and I put bearings in it because it didn't come with ball bearings, and that's double-sided sticky tape with between the motor and the zip ties holding that on, because that prevents it from moving. So I think that's the kind of AC he's talking about. Is there different kinds of AC? Gerard Morin called that intelligent AC because it won't hurt us, it won't shock us, but it has a lot of potential, a lot of abilities. So you could watch what he's doing with that. But he wanted to charge batteries with that. I'm not sure if he was rectifying it. I don't think he was. I think he was rectifying it, but it was still going through the rectifier. I think that's what he was saying. It was still able to function as AC even after going through a DC rectifier, if I recall correctly. It's been a while since I've watched his videos and studied his work, but his work is thought-provoking. So that's what I found the work to be, especially with the transformers, where he was doing things with transformers, and I'm talking about big transformers that are up in the power lines. So back to Cameron's question of charging batteries with direct power from the wall, right? That's a 60 cycle per second cycle, right? What does the full wave bridge rectifier do? Does it make it a square wave? Is that what it does? Does it turn it into a square wave, or is it still going to be a smooth wave? I don't know. Is it going to just take half of that wave off, like the bottom half or the top half, and still be a half sine wave? I don't know that either. But I do know that we can charge batteries with it once it's been through a full wave bridge rectifier, right? So if we could turn that power up slowly, I guess we could experiment and just see what it does. This is one of those things where someone that knows a lot, and I've heard this from many people that know a lot, they say the really, really incredible things that are just, and I'm using my own words, but just things that are like, wow, like things that we would just love scientifically, they're just not talked about. And I don't know why that is, but I do know this: if we figure things out, we can talk about it. I guess because we didn't learn not to. And that goes back to something I learned when I was growing up, which was be careful about learning too much. And now that's very subjective, and people could go in many different directions with that. I understood it to be always be humble, right? Don't be arrogant about what you think you know. And with strength, when it comes to physical strength, for example, there's always going to be someone stronger. So no matter how strong a person is, there'll always be someone stronger, right? And that goes with being smarter too, but we all can complement one another in bringing our intelligences together and sharing our different perspectives, right? At very high levels of scientific collaboration, we hear that there's what they call heated debates, but people are red-faced and screaming at each other. So it can be hard for people to collaborate because why? People see things their way and they might want it done their way, right? So how do we work together to create something better, better for everyone involved? And can we do it several different ways, right? That's what my teacher used to say. One of my teachers used to say, well, do it both ways. Try it both ways. It doesn't have to be just one way. Say, can we do it this way as well, right? Can we try it that way and this way? Instead of just like having to settle on one way. So we're at 4 minutes. This video is going to be concluded soon because I'm going to keep these videos short so that they actually load. I have 4 videos that have been loading for several days now. and they still say like 20 hours to load. I'm like, it said 20 hours 3 days ago. Let's see what our voltage is doing on this negative energy oscillator from r-charge. r-charge.com, I think it is, but it's Rick Friedrich's channel. So we're at 21.9, and for this 6-cell lithium polymer battery, which is 3 cells in series, when it's full, it's going to be 25 volts, because it's 6 times 4.2 volts, which is each cell being fully charged. And those are wired in series, which is the best way to heal batteries when you want to repair them, right? This is all theoretical, but it's based on absolute scientific experience, which is the repeated experiments for so many times. Okay, so going back to the battery before I conclude this video, that would be an interesting thing to do if we could turn the power up slowly from the wall to a battery, right? Slowly. And then just make sure the battery doesn't overheat. We do not want the wires overheating or the battery overheating, right? If it's starting to get warm, I would say that's enough to stop right there. There are people that say you don't even want the battery getting warm. There's no reason for it to get warm. And we're talking about fast charging, right? So when we're fast charging a battery, if it's done in an efficient, which is a low resistance way, that's when you really know you have something, right? Is when you can charge the battery quickly and it's not getting hot. I would watch the voltage as the indicator. I would not look at amperage, because if we're doing low resistance charging, amperage isn't even there. Amperage is an indicator of resistance. Proper fast charging, efficient fast charging, like G Batteries is doing, like FMA Direct Cell Pro Power Lab 8 is doing, has been doing for over 10 years, maybe 15 years, maybe 20 years. The battery is low resistance. Everything's at low resistance, right? So maybe you can recurrent sometimes, but I'm gonna use heat, temperature. I'm gonna look for temperature. So yeah, that could be an experiment that may be done someday, but I'm gonna have something there that's gonna let me vary the power of how much goes into the battery. Maybe I'll use a pulse width modulator or something. As long as that pulse width modulator can take the current from the wall. I'm guessing I'd have to run it through the bridge rectifier into the pulse width modulator, which has to be at least 120 volt. I don't know if they make them that big. They probably do. Or I could bump the voltage down, but then we're almost building a charger, right? But I mean, I might have to put a few things in that line, but just it's an interesting idea. I really don't like the idea of messing with the power from the house, though, because it's so much power. I really don't want to mess with that. But Cameron asked, so maybe we'll just leave that to thought experiments only, right? Okay, everyone, until the next video, it's coming up soon.